Strategic discord, Trump's volatile diplomacy, the erosion of Allied trust through contradictory signals. The current geopolitical landscape is increasingly characterized by instability, largely fueled by the erratic and often inflammatory rhetoric emanating from the Trump administration. Specifically, the administration's actions and statements regarding international relations, particularly concerning France and the broader context of global conflicts, represent a significant threat to established alliances and necessitate a rapid reassessment of strategic priorities.
The confluence of aggressive foreign policy initiatives, coupled with demonstrably inconsistent communication, is fostering a climate of uncertainty and undermining the foundations of collaborative security frameworks, demanding immediate attention and a clearly defined counter-strategy. The situation underscores a critical vulnerability in the global order, the potential for a single actor to dramatically destabilize long-held norms through a combination of aggressive action and deliberate obfuscation.
Fractured alliances, Macron's disillusionment, the strategic implications of contradictory messaging. The French President Macron's measured response to Trump's dismissive comments regarding Brigitte Macron, coupled with his broader criticism of the administration's inconsistent strategic signaling, highlights a deep-seated disillusionment within key NATO partners. Macron's assertion that it's going off in every direction directly addresses the core issue, the lack of coherence in EU
foreign policy, a phenomenon exacerbated by a perceived prioritization of domestic political considerations over strategic stability. This misalignment creates a strategic vacuum, leaving European allies vulnerable to Russian influence and undermining the efficacy of collective defense mechanisms.
The consistent disruption of established communication channels, coupled with a perceived disregard for long-standing alliances, necessitates a recalibration of transatlantic relations and a renewed emphasis on shared strategic objectives, a process complicated by the volatile domestic political environment within the United States.
Operational volatility, the Trump doctrine analyzing contradictory signals and their geopolitical consequences. The administration's apparent strategy, characterized by a barrage of contradictory statements regarding foreign policy, represents a fundamental departure from established diplomatic norms and poses a significant operational risk. Specifically, the constant shifts in messaging regarding the Israel-Iran conflict, the Russia-Ukraine war, and broader security commitments within NATO demonstrates a lack of strategic focus and a potential disregard for the carefully calibrated relationships built over decades.
This volatility creates confusion amongst allies, emboldens adversaries, and ultimately weakens the United States' ability to effectively project power and influence. The consistent prioritization of short-term, arguably self-serving, political gains over long-term strategic objectives signals a dangerous trend, demanding a rigorous assessment of the potential consequences for global security and the maintenance of vital alliances.
The reliance on ad hoc pronouncements rather than a cohesive, well-defined doctrine introduces unacceptable levels of uncertainty into the strategic equation.
Prognosis, erosion and fragmentation. Assessing the future of Allied cooperation in a turbulent world. The sustained deployment of contradictory signals from the Trump administration, coupled with its demonstrated prioritization of domestic political considerations over international strategic imperatives, portends a period of significant erosion within the transatlantic alliance. While the immediate impact may be localized, evidenced by Macron's displeasure, the broader consequences extend to the stability of NATO, the effectiveness of collective security initiatives, and the overall credibility of the United States as a reliable partner.
The potential for further strategic missteps, combined with a demonstrable lack of commitment to established diplomatic protocols, suggests a trajectory towards increased fragmentation and a diminished capacity for coordinated action. Moving forward, the United States must prioritize clarity and consistency in its messaging, demonstrably reaffirm its commitment to its allies, and address the underlying drivers of strategic volatility, a task requiring a fundamental shift in leadership priorities and a renewed dedication to upholding the principles of international cooperation.
The risk of further destabilization necessitates a proactive strategic response aimed at mitigating the damage and restoring confidence in the EU role as a guarantor of global security.